So this has clearly been a take profit cycle. Investors don't seem to be waiting for that 10x, 20x, 30x, or even more return on their investment. They seem to be taking profits being up 20%, 30%, 40, 50%. You know, anytime I talk about a coin on this channel and it rallies or whatever, and some of you wonder, am I taking profits? Did I take profits? The answer is always going to be yes. Every single coin in my crypto portfolio, I have taken profits. And the reason for that, and I tell you guys this all the time, is you never know what's going to happen in the space. You never know when the reversal is going to happen. So always stick to your trading strategy no matter what. Funny enough, I read a comment just the other day. Someone said something along the lines of, they don't agree with me taking profits because how else are you going to make those life-changing returns? I strongly believe that all newbie investors needs to realize that last cycle, a lot of investors got completely burnt. You know, they made so much money in the crypto space only to come back down with the ship. You know, they did a full circle. And nobody likes to see all of their gains get completely wiped away. So this cycle, a lot of investors is doing things completely different. And they're taking profits on the way up because they don't want to go up and down with the ship. All that being said, there will come a time where it is going to be best to just hold and just wait. But you have to understand where we are in the market, and where we are right now, we're still in a very, very strong Bitcoin dominance. And until the Bitcoin dominance starts to fall, people are going to be taking their profits. They're going to be taking profits because they want to lock in some gains. There is no point not locking in gains, right? And seeing the way that the altcoins have been performing, it's smarter to be locking in those gains. It's almost as if it's a trader cycle. Of course, you have to know what you're doing. But I want you guys to check this out. The market right now is looking like a complete nightmare. So most times I look at the crypto bubbles on a red day, there's always going to be like at least one or two coins that's up like, I don't know, 0.08%, 1%, 2%, something like that. But right now, every single coin in the top 100 is red. So the market is not looking that good whatsoever. And obviously this is due to war escalations and stuff like that. But there's always going to be something new that's bringing the market down. And again, this is why I talk about taking profits, because you don't know, we don't know what cycle we are actually in. Okay, like we talk about a super cycle bull run because we've got the big players entering the space, the BlackRock and, you know, all those types of guys, right? The ones with like real money, the billions of money, not just a couple million. We're talking about some serious money here. They've entered the space, so a lot of people got extremely bullish and start buying things at random prices. But again, this cycle is not the same cycle that we experienced last cycle. This is a completely different cycle. Okay, way too many coins, and we talk about this all the time. So money isn't as like concentrated as they were in previous cycle. And again, this is why you have to stick to the hype coins, you have to stick to the narratives, and you have to take profits on the way up if you're going to make it out of this cycle alive. Now, me saying making it out alive probably seems a little bit dramatic, but I did recently read a comment where someone said how crypto has destroyed their life. So maybe it's not as dramatic as it seems because it's just straight up reality. Some people are significantly underwater in their crypto portfolios right now. And this also is why I say don't over invest, because you just never know what's going to happen. No one can predict the tops. No one can predict the bottoms. It's hard to tell where the exact perfect entry is on a lot of these coins. Yes, you should do some TA and look to buy at support levels. But if you don't know how to do TA, then it's even more difficult for you. And this is why I always say, just learn how to do some basic TAs. It's definitely 1000% helpful. But right now, this is the Bitcoin chart, right? And Bitcoin is looking extremely solid. Like Bitcoin is sitting at almost 104,000. You know, it recently went to 111,000. This was at the end of May. It tried retesting it there. Again, it got rejected. I don't know if this, I'm not saying this is a potential reversal sign. We never know with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just doing its thing. Clearly, Bitcoin is just dominating this cycle. And yeah, the Bitcoin dominance is just way too powerful. So people should not be over investing in altcoins unless you see a price that really looks good to you. You know, you see a really, really nice price is sitting at a great support level, then you, now I never overinvest, but then you could take a little bit more risk with your investment. Okay, it's just be on the cautious side. And when it comes to meme coins especially, you got to be extremely careful with meme coins. I want to talk about something, but before I talk about something meme coin related, I just want to quickly say, if you're looking for a great crypto exchange, make sure you check out my link to BTCC. You get 10% bonus on first time deposits, extra bonuses up to $10,000, no VPN, no KYC. If you're someone that trades using leverage, you get to use up to 500x leverage. The link will be in my description down below for anyone that is interested. You'll also find a link to my Patreon. If you want to check that out, you can. And you'll find a link to Trade Assist, which is a great crypto indicator. Lets you know when's a good time to buy and sell crypto. But getting into meme coins, because we've been 2024 and a bit of 2023, I guess, was like a meme coin super cycle, right? People was just focused on meme coins. We're making all types of money on these meme coins. Of course, we're losing money as well. You can't just win 100%, especially when it comes to meme coins. Someone's going to get rugged. But as long as you've made more money than you've lost, then your portfolio is going to be fine. You know, you might have lost, you know, you put in $100, it goes to zero. You put in another $100 in another meme coin, it gives you like a 25, 30, 40, 50x, and you're laughing all the way to the bank. So made up for that loss that you had. That's the way that the meme coin space goes, right? But right now we're seeing some very funny business that's going on here. And I want to talk about this. So Pump.fun and other meme coin accounts suspended from X in apparent crackdown. Social media giant X suspended Pump.fun's official account and co-founder Alan Cohen's personal handle on June 16th, alongside other meme coin related platforms, including GMGN, Bloom Trading, BullX, Eliza OS, and more earlier on Tuesday. The platform issued no reason, triggering speculation about internal policy enforcement or wider regulatory intervention, but sparked grapevine talk in the crypto circles of a possible legal crackdown on such products. Pump.fun's website remains live as of Asian morning hours Tuesday, continuing in churn of Solana meme coins uninterrupted. All right, so theories range from unauthorized live streams or API abuse, pump and dump mechanics, or early stage SEC activity. So far, none of these theories have been confirmed by platform officials or regulators, right? But this is not necessarily, well, not necessarily, this is not good news at all for Pump.fun. And the main reason for that is, you know, it's not good for the meme coin space, because if there's a massive crackdown on Pump.fun, something tells me that a lot of people is going to start to panic sell their meme coins, and we could literally see the meme coin bubble pop. Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people has been wondering, when is that meme coin bubble going to pop? Because a lot of these meme coins, even though they've come down significantly, they are still up. A lot of them are still up quite a bit. You know, you still see some of them over like $1 billion market cap, so, or over 500 million. Some of them have no place being there, right? And yeah, we're going to see how things play out, man, but it's not good. It is not good seeing that whatsoever, especially since Pump.fun was coming out with its own token. So we're going to see how everything plays out. But the co-founder and the official site gets locked down or suspended, that's definitely a warning sign. But again, everything right now is up in the air. It's all speculation. No one knows what's really happening. But Look on Chain did post this right here. So it says Pump.fun, recently suspended by X, has sold a total of 4.1 million SOL, valued at $741 million at an average price of $180 since May 19th. 264,373 SOL was sold for 4.864 million USDC at $158. 3.84 million SOL worth 699 million was deposited to Kraken at $182. So it just adds to a speculation of, you know, some sort of scam that Pump.fun has been up to the entire time, but no one really knows. But what was funny, where was a post that I saw? Someone said, where was it? Yeah, wow, a business is taking profit. Can't believe it. Yeah, business, it's a business. You're going to take profits, but then this person followed up with exit scam or preparing for something bigger. Either way, 741 million off the table isn't small. Yeah, that's not a small amount of money. That is a large amount of money off of the table. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know at the end of the day. Every cycle, there's some sort of scam. There's always going to be another scam every single cycle. So we don't know what's actually happening here. But what I do think, or what I do believe, is everyone needs to just exercise extra caution when it comes to meme coin investing, just in case we get some like regulatory news, which is not good for the meme coin space. And then, yeah, meme coins come crashing all the way down. Just be more so on the defensive side when it comes to your meme coin investment, even though you should have already been defensive when it comes to meme coin investing, but be even more defensive just in case we get some news that we don't like, and yeah, people just start panic selling like crazy. The last thing that you want is to be the one holding the bag. You know, right now you look at your meme coin, at one of your meme coins, there's $100 in it, and then everyone panic sells, and then that $100 is now worth like 5 cents, and it's just going to sit there at the bottom of your crypto portfolio probably forever. We don't know if that meme coin will ever come back. For all we know, the devs leave the team or take down their X account and just don't focus on that meme coin anymore. And yeah, you're just left holding the bag, and it just sucks. Now, I do want to make something very, very clear here for a second. I just want to say that I am still very bullish on this market. You know, even we don't know what's going to happen with Pump.fun, but regardless what happens with the meme coin space, I'm not overly exposed to meme coins. Most of my money is in like the utility coins, right? So I am still very, very bullish on this space here. The only thing is, in the short term, you see Bitcoin's chilling over 100K, but the altcoins are getting destroyed. But so the question is, what happens if Bitcoin falls below 100K? What is going to happen to the altcoins at that point? Because if Bitcoin falls below that psychological number, I don't even want to think about it, if I'm being honest here. But I think Ethereum has been holding up pretty decent recently. Like, Ethereum hasn't been bleeding like a lot of these altcoins down here. So Ethereum's holding up pretty decent. But I'm still overly bullish on this space. I do believe that the overall direction is still up. It's just, when are we going to get there? Because we just keep getting bad news after bad news after bad news. But eventually, I do think that we're going to have a nice bounce. There's going to be a period where we're just getting positive news and the market's just going to rally like crazy. That's what I think. That's what I'm expecting. I remain extremely bullish on this market over the long term. Just in the short term, it's just things could get a little bit rough. And like I've said, if you're still waiting for an altcoin season, you need to stop waiting for an altcoin season. This Bitcoin season doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Way too many coins. Focus on hype, focus on narrative, and that's how you're going to make the most amount of money in crypto. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Check out a few of the links I have down below. And until next time, take care.